going to go over the settings in the Advanced Options tab, and we're going to take a look at media management and what happens when a tape is marked for reuse, and also the settings in the backup jobs for reusing media. In the Advanced Options tab of a job, you'll see that there is a backup or archive option. You'll typically want to always use the backup option because the archive type backups will not work with incrementals or differentials. You can also discard after a number of full backups, or you can discard after a number of days or weeks or years. And there's also a setting to take the index offline after a certain number of days. So all that this does is reduces the size of your NetVault database. So typically you'll choose one or the other of these two here, but if you select both, then whichever one happens first will retire the backup. So what happens if you go to media management, you can see your tapes, which may have several backups on them. And if you look at the status, you'll see that the segments will have a retire date if you selected a number of days. So when that is reached, then that backup will be expired and it will disappear off the tape, but other backups will remain. So that tape is not going to be able to be reused until all the backups on the tape have expired. Once that happens, you'll see that this tape gets marked for reuse. And what that means is that if a job is configured to be able to reuse a tape, then it'll be able to overwrite the data on this tape. So until that actually happens, though, the data is still on this tape, and you can scan it to bring back that data that was on the tape. But if we go back to the job, you'll typically want to configure this reuse media option. So by default it's set to never, which means that even if a tape has been marked for reuse, it won't be reused unless one of the two options here are selected to reuse. If it were part of a group, if this tape were part of a group, you could reuse tapes in the same group, or you could just say any tape that's reusable can be used. So if you have it set up correctly, then it will retire tapes and reuse them, and your backups could be unattended for a long time.